Hi, this is Anil from Learning Led Education with a quick tutorial on how to write a program to check whether a number is an even number or a odd number. So a number is said to be even number, if it is completely divisible by 2, or in other words, when we divide a number by 2 and at that time if we get the remainder as 0, then it's gonna mean that that number is even number. If we get any other value as a reminder, then it's gonna mean that that number is not an even number, which is a odd number. So here, for example, let's say we're gonna have the number 6. So to check whether this number is even number or odd number, we're gonna divide this number by 2. So at that time, if it gives the remainder as 0, as here in this case, if the remainder is 0, then the number is even number, else the number is odd number. So here in this tutorial we're going to use the modulus operator to get the remainder when we divide the entered number by 2, and then we're going to compare that remainder value whether that one is 0 or not, and depending on that comparison we're going to print out whether that number is even number or odd number. So here what we're going to do is we're going to ask the user to enter the number, and then we're going to check that number, and then we're going to print out the appropriate message. So here we need a variable to store the value entered by the user. So I'm going to create an integer variable, and let's say int, and I'm going to call it as number, and then we're going to ask the user to enter the number to check whether it is even or odd. So I'm going to use the printf function, and I'm going to say enter the number to check even or odd, and then I'm going to add a new line just to make it pretty, and then we're going to receive the value entered by the user. So I'm going to use the scanf function, and we're going to use the format specifier as %d because we are receiving an integer value, and then we're going to store that in our number variable, and we need to use the ampersand symbol here. And then the next thing that we're going to do is you're going to use the mod operator to get the remainder when we divide the value stored in this number variable by 2, and depending on the outcome of that operation we're going to print out some appropriate message. So I'm going to use the if statement, and I'm going to write number mod 2, and then let's have a bracket here just to make it more easy to read, and then we're going to compare that value whether number mod 2 is equal to 0. If it is so, then it's going to mean that the number is even number, else the number is a odd number. So here we're just going to use a printf statement. So it's going to be printf, and we're going to say %d is even number, and we need to refer the variable number, and I'm going to copy this whole printf statement, and I'm going to paste that in this else part, and here we're going to say odd number. That's it. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to run this program. So I'm going to go to build and run, and it says enter the number to check even or odd. So I'm just going to enter 6, and I'm going to hit enter button, and it says 6 is even number, and I'm just going to run this program again, and again it says enter the number to check even or odd. I'm going to enter 3, and I'm going to hit enter, and it says 3 is odd number. So this is how you guys can write a program in C to check whether the number is even number or odd number. You can get the source code of this tutorial in my website learninglad.com, and also you guys can like my Facebook page at facebook.com/learninglad, and also you guys can follow us on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.